What's up, EV Clan? Alex Espion here, and today I am playing the first ever Kirby game, Kirby's Dream Land. Never played it before, so I'm excited to try it out. Okay, so we're starting off with Green Greens, a classic, as expected. Getting chased by the butterflies over there. Poor Kirby. Okay, so obviously it's an old Kirby game, which means I don't have to press jump to start flying. I just have to press up. Actually, I don't know if that was a thing in Kirby's Adventure. Maybe in Kirby's Adventure you have to press jump and up. I think that's actually what it is. And in future Kirby games you might have to do that as well. But I remember the old ones. In the newer ones you just have to press jump, like over and over again. But in the older ones you have to press jump and up, or just up. Like, I know that it's not just jump. I know for certain that it's not just jump. Okay, so there's a bunch of potions here, like little health restoration protein shakes. I don't know if that's what they're called, what they are. Some kind of drink. We don't need them at the moment because, as you can see by our health down at the bottom, if you can see it, we have full health still, which makes sense even if you haven't seen it. Even if you had not seen that, I'm sure you would already still know that because, well, like we hadn't taken any damage when I started the sentence, but now we have. Because we got hit by that Poppy Bros Jr. I think hit us. But here's a star. Here's a launch star. Not a launch star. Oh my gosh, this is not Mario, Alex. I play too much Mario apparently. What is this? What kind of star is this? Some kind of star. It's not a launch star. It's not a pull star. And that's Mario star. Superstar? No. It is a oh gosh, what do I do about this guy? Okay, I gotta pick up his bomb and throw it back at him. Okay, ow. First of all, ow. Second, throw a bomb at me, please. Thank you. And take that. He's got 3 health in traditional Nintendo boss fashion. Gonna grab this one too. This fight I was thinking was gonna be like a little difficult. Because I got hit by him, and without landing a single hit on him. But, I was able to defeat him without taking any more hits than that initial first one. So that's good. I am noticing, one big thing I'm noticing is that I don't have, like, the spit. Oh, yes, I do. Never mind. But, one other thing is that, if I try to jump, assuming that, okay, wait, hold on, I actually haven't pressed the jump button once. I have pressed the up button. Okay, I can actually jump while I'm inhaled something. That's odd. I mean, that's not odd. That's normal. But I just didn't think I could. Okay, so we do have, like, because I pressed up and I wasn't going up. But I guess up is, like, the fly button, while jump is still the jump button, but you can just start flying from the ground in this game. Yeah, like, that's a fly. This is a jump. And you can jump and then fly. But you can't, like, in future games, you can't, like, fly from the ground. You have to jump and then fly. In this game, you can just fly from the ground. You don't have to jump and then fly. In future games, you just jump and fly, but in this game, you don't have to jump first, which is a little bit interesting, a little weird, if you played only the future games. But, you know, first game had different mechanics. I'm glad there's a crouch button. It's already got one thing over, like, the original Mario. The original Mario didn't have a crouch button. You couldn't crouch in the original Mario, so, that's one thing this has up on the original Mario's movement. Honestly, a lot more movement than I was expecting. Like, you can still do a lot of the things that you can do in modern Kirby. Obviously, the biggest difference between this and modern Kirby is the lack of any sort of copy abilities, because that's kind of Kirby's thing nowadays. Back in the past, it wasn't Kirby's thing at all. In fact, he couldn't even do it. He could not even, like, consume enemies and get powers from them. But in this, he can. Sorry, in this he cannot. Yeah, in this he cannot do that, but in, future games he can. And that became, like, his signature ability, but in this game, that was not a thing yet. So it's interesting to see a Kirby game where inhaling copy abilities isn't a thing, because that's just Kirby's thing now. Like, you play all the other Kirby games, and it's hard to imagine Kirby without copy abilities. But here we are, playing a Kirby game without copy abilities. So. Wispy Woods is still here, though. That's one thing that never changes. Wispy Woods is always chilling out, ready to beat your butt with some apples, bonk you in the head with some apples. Oh, wait, did I take 2 health off of him? I feel like, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I thought he had iframes for a second, and that I hadn't taken 2 health off of him, even though I hit him twice, but I think I took 2 health off him. Did he have 6 or 5 before? I had 6 starting out, so I think he also had 6. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think he had any invincibility frames. I think I could just like keep hitting him, and I did just like keep hitting him. So that is 1 world down, I think? Because there's no map. Yeah, Casalolo, on to stage 2. Because there's no like world map. And these are stages, they're not like worlds. But these are effectively worlds, because in Kirby's Adventure, they have like those intros at the beginning of every world, so I'd imagine that this is a world. What was that? Oh, okay. It's Mike. So there's no abilities, but Mike is still a thing. That's cool. That's interesting. Interesting choice. I like that. So Mike actually predates all Kirby abilities. It's the first ever Kirby ability, technically. Because, like, it wasn't an ability, but we still did use Mike. We still did use the properties of Mike to clear out a screen. We still did, like, hit— oh my gosh, you're scary. You are scary. What the heck? So I just, like, turn around and then they come to life? What made them come to life? Did I suck on them? Is that the problem? I sucked it and then it got angry? How do I make you come to life? Maybe I don't want to know. Maybe I don't want to know the answer to that question, actually. I can inhale in the air. Maybe it's just like with distance they come to life? I don't know. What are these guys? These guys have wacky faces. That's funny. They're funny looking. We got some glunks over here. Some enemies look pretty much the same. Some enemies look pretty different. Overall, I think it's the same style with pretty much every enemy. But like something about the glunks and the Gordos just doesn't look correct. Something about the glunks and Gordos just does not look like future games. Do I blow bubbles underwater? Or not? I just don't attack at all. Okay, that's interesting. Because I think I just pressed the inhale button and nothing happened. So glunks, he shot sideways, didn't he? Yeah, that's interesting. Because in future games, obviously, glunks shoot only directly upward. I wonder if they have, like, angles? Or if they just shoot to the side in this game? If they can shoot on all angles, oh my gosh, glunks got severely nerfed after this game. We still got some Mumbies. Okay. That's cool. Didn't know Mumbies were this old. Didn't know that they were from the first game of the franchise. Honestly, it was a pretty creative design, so I didn't think it would come from the first game. Especially, and like, is this a desert level? Because there's Mumbies here. I feel like Mumbies don't just appear in desert levels, though. Like, they should. They should be like desert exclusive things, I think, because they're mummies, obviously. They're based off of, they're like mummy-like enemies. So you would expect them to be like exclusive to desert levels, but I feel like they do appear in like a lot of other places as well. I think in Forgotten Land they were in like, were they in Wandaria? I don't remember. I'm fairly sure though they were in places besides the desert level. Maybe I'm just wrong. I feel like they've been in like not so desert themed levels, but I feel like they've always been in a desert world. Maybe? Besides this? Can I not inhale Mumbies? Is that a thing? Okay, I guess I can't inhale Mumbies. Either that or my aim is really bad. Okay, so we went back in there by accident. These guys are cool. They're like bouncy ghosts. That's one that's one trait that I don't think any video game has ever given a ghost at any other point in time. It's bouncy. It's a bouncy ghost. That's such an interesting concept. That's such an interesting thing to do with the concept of a ghost. But, shout out to Kirby, I guess, for the interesting enemy design. A bouncing ghost. Because they look kind of like Boos from Mario, but they surely do not operate like Boos, because Boos don't bounce like that. So where am I supposed to go exactly? Because I went in that door, and I'm not seeing any other doors to go through. Oh wait, there's a door over here. Did I come from this door, or is this a new door? I did not come from this door. We got, what are you? What are you guys? Broom Hatters. Broom Hatters. Assuming that they're, like, named the same thing as the allies are in Star Allies. Assuming that they don't, like, change the name of them when they become your allies. Maybe the allies are, like, different entities. I don't know. Because the Broom Hatters, like, the allies in Kirby Star Allies, like, once you befriend those guys, they become Broom Hatter. And I don't know if they were Broom Hatter to begin with, but, what I do know is they look kind of different when you befriend them. So I don't know if they went from, like, something else to Broom Hatters, or they were always Broom Hatters. But, like, when I when I hear Broom Hatter, I picture, like, the allies from Star Allies with the brooms. And those guys have, like, they have, like, the same body shape and body color, but they have, like, a white hat with, like, green design on it, rather than, like, a witch-like hat. So I don't know if those are, like, two separate enemies, or one technically isn't an enemy, but I don't know if those are, like, two separate things, two separate entities, like, two separate characters, or organisms, or whatever you want to call them, but, or if they're both just Broom Hatter, but I'm just, for sake of simplicity, gonna call them both Broom Hatter. So I did a stupid thing, and, okay. When I hit them, they still keep on walking. It does not knock them back, so I have to be very careful about attacking them. Because so far, I am losing this fight. I have to be very careful about when I'm firing out the stars that I get from inhaling the blocks. Because if I fire them out when they're like right in front of me, then the end lag is going to kill me. The end lag of doing so will make me take damage. Because I'll be like I'll still be like, y'all know what end lag is. Y'all have played a fighting game before, right? Y'all know what end lag is. I'll be stuck in end lag and I won't be able to do anything. Like if I fire at them and they're coming straight for me, then it's not gonna be good for me because I'll just be suffering from the end lag of firing at them, and so I won't be able to move. Gosh, okay, like that. Okay, now there's one of them left, which I would like to think will make it easier. But at the same time, I genuinely don't know, because, like, I actually doubt it will. I was saying I don't know. I'm actually fairly sure that it won't. Because I was really only focusing on one before. So I feel like now that there's only one, nothing has changed. Because I was really only attacking one before, and one was really only which meant... And since they're not, like, going after me specifically, they're not really putting in any effort to go after me, they're not really targeting me. Since I was only going after one, only one was going after me, and so this is not really any different from what I was doing before, because there's still only one going after me. But, it's physically impossible for anyone else to go after me, because there is no one else. I also keep mixing up my fly button from my run, from my inhale button, from my jump button. Really annoying because I'm playing this on a keyboard and I'm not used to playing a Kirby game on a keyboard, but I couldn't get the controller to work. I couldn't figure out how to set up the controller for this game. So I just went with the keyboard. I'm like, this is going to be a terrible idea. I'm not going to like this because it's just one of those game franchises where I just have to play with a keyboard. Not a keyboard. I have to not play with a keyboard. I have to play with a controller. But, it's like anything, like Pokemon, I play with a keyboard. Pokemon's fine to play with a keyboard. I would even say Pokemon is ideal to play with a keyboard. Because obviously it requires so few buttons. It's like, it's nice to have the arrow keys. I personally like the arrow keys, like to select moves. It feels very natural to me. Okay, I died. Me personally, it feels very natural to like play Pokemon on a keyboard because you get just like something about the way, something about like maneuvering through the moves that you have to choose from with the arrow keys feels good because like it's not the kind of thing that would require like a circle pad. It's a stiff movement. It's like up, down, left, right, you know? So it doesn't really require a circle pad, and I don't really use, I don't really use, what's the word? I don't really use the D-pad often in any game, regardless of controller or what the game is. Oh, come on, they had me... They had me, like, trapped there. If I went down, I couldn't go up because there was a ceiling. And if I went down, I went into him. That was rough. They had me trapped. They had me, like, right where they wanted me. I hate that this battle is, like, getting me actually into focus mode to the point where I can't, like, really think about what I'm saying. Because this is not hard. I literally just have to, like, go up and down through platforms, spitting stuff at the enemies. This is literally, like, less a boss fight and just more of, like, a bunch of enemies going past me at the speed that a bunch of enemies tend to. Like, they're not really that much faster than normal enemies, And what I'm doing isn't really that much different than just fighting normal enemies. I just, like, go toward them, suck something up, spit it back out at them. Obviously, they have more health than normal enemies, but the procedure is still the same. And, that is... The procedure is really always the same with Kirby. I guess that's why it's viewed as, like, one of the reasons why it's viewed as an easy game. Because nothing really ever changes. Like, even when they add all these different, like, powers and stuff in future games, like, all these different copy abilities, it really never changes, because in the end, you're still, like, going up to them and pressing B until they're dead. Like, a lot of Kirby bosses don't really have, like, different strategies. They're just kind of, like, all go up to it, attack it until it dies. They're not really... Kirby bosses aren't really cinematic. They don't really have, like, differing strategies and, like, things you have to take advantage of. Like, in Mario, where you... Like with Mario bosses, you have, like... mechanic. Like, bosses are... Like, Mario bosses are, like, relying on mechanics. A lot of bosses in a lot of, good video games, are relying on mechanics, I feel. Kirby is not... Kirby bosses are not relying on mechanics. They are mechanically all the same. For the most part. I mean, obviously there are some Kirby bosses that are, like, creative in design. But I don't really go to Kirby for, like, boss design. Obviously I go for, like, the way the bosses look sometimes is really cool. But in terms of, like, the actual fight, how it's designed, Kirby, like, boss fight design, like, I shouldn't say boss design, because that implies that I'm talking about, like, how the boss looks. I mean, like, boss fight design. In terms of boss fight design, Kirby's nothing to write home about, because all the boss fights are pretty much the same. You go up to it and press B. A bunch of times. Okay, dude, fished up a fish, and then realized that the hook is still in his mouth. And possibly the fish was flopping around? I don't know what that was. I don't know if that's what was happening. Maybe the fish wasn't flopping around, maybe he was just, like, moving the fishing rod around in his mouth to try to get it out. Also, y'all see that? I hadn't commented on it before, but, I hadn't seen any waddle-doos in this game. Now I see a waddle-doo. But, for a second I was thinking, like, that was the replacement in this game for a waddle-doo. Because I wasn't actually aware that waddle-doos were in this game. I mean, I figured that waddle-dees were in this game, but I don't think like, that didn't surprise me. Like, waddle-dees being in every Kirby game checks. Waddle-doos I didn't know about, though. And perhaps I, like, saw waddle-doo earlier, and I just, like, walked right past it. But, and if I did, silly me, my bad. But, that was the first waddle-doo I recall seeing. I didn't recall seeing any waddle-doos when I saw that, bye. I didn't recall seeing any waddle-doos yet when I saw that clam that had, like, the waddle-doo, like, beam attack type of power. So I was wondering, I thought for a second that the stand-in for a waddle-doo in this game was a clam that was capable of shooting a beam out of its eye. But, no, that was just a variant of waddle-doo, I guess, that came before the actual normal waddle-doo. Really interesting, like, waddle-doo variant. It's like an ocean waddle-doo. That's really cool. Like, look at this. This is a clam waddle-doo. It's a clam that works like a waddle-doo. I wonder what it's called. I wonder if it's, like, a reference to waddle-doos. Or if they're, like, separate or if they're treated like separate enemies that just have, like, the same power. Because obviously I look at that and I'm like, that's a reskin. That's a reskin of a waddle-doo. But, like, I wonder if the game is making it out like they're separate enemies. And I wonder if that guy's ever reappeared. I don't think he has. I've never seen him before. So I'd imagine it's exclusive to this game. No, he's really cool. I like that design. I think it's actually a more interesting design than normal waddle-doos, because normal waddle-doos are just, like, dudes with eyes. And that's, like, a clam with an eye rather than a pearl. Like, that's interesting. Because clams obviously don't have eyes in real life. That's not normal. Clams don't typically have eyes. So, the fact that they put an eye in that clam, like, that's not normal. That's something interesting. That's, like, an interesting design choice. Because clams don't normally have eyes. And specifically, they put the eye where the pearl would normally be positioned. Like, you know, on the tongue of the clam. I don't even know if in real life clams have tongues. Kinda? Maybe? Like, there's like a bit of fat, like, on the clam. Like, when you open up a clam, when you eat a clam, there's, like, a little bit of fat at, like, the bottom of the mouth, I guess. Its whole body is a mouth, so I don't really know if you'd call it a mouth. But, like, there's a little bit of, like, fat and, like, gelatinous thing at the bottom of the mouth. as I called it. I don't know if that's considered a tongue, or if that's just part of its, if that's like a stomach. I don't know about the anatomy of clams. It's weird because their whole body is a mouth, so I don't know if that's like actually a mouth part or something that in a human being you'd find like way below the mouth. And it's just like not, it's just in the what we call a mouth because their whole body is a mouth. Like maybe that's some organ that's like that on a human would be found like around the chest area, like in the gut. Maybe that's a stomach. Maybe that's like its lungs or like something it uses to breathe. I don't know. But its body looks like a mouth. I don't know if if a clam's body like operates like a mouth. And I don't know how much of its body is actually considered a mouth in terms of, like, clam anatomy. Like, if you asked a clam, I know clams can't talk, but, like, if you asked a clam, like, where is your mouth? Would it just say, like, my entire body is my mouth? Or what would the clam consider its mouth? I wonder. What is this? Okay, I think we just landed in a whale? It looked like we were flying over to a whale. I wasn't seeing it as a whale. That's not the way I was interpreting it, the sprite. But then, we went into then we went into, like, that blowhole. And then, obviously, I started to see it as a whale. Like, I looked back on the sprite I'd seen, and like, that's a whale. That was a whale sprite that I was looking at. What is going on here? Okay, we are fighting a blimp. And this is the, oh, this is Kabuto. Kabuto? I don't think that's what it's called. I really don't think that's what it's called, because that's a Pokemon. But, Kabula? Kabula. I think it's Kabula. He's in Robobot. It's Core Kabula. But, like, I think it's regular Kabula now, because, it's not a core. Maybe it is still a core of, like, something else, but, like, obviously in Robobot, Core Kabula was, like, the core of Cogs, which I thought was really cool. When I was initially playing Planet Robobot, it took me forever to get through that game, so Core Kabula felt like it was really late into the game, but in actuality, that was, like, only a halfway through. Like, I watch playthroughs of Kirby Planet Robobot now, and it surprises me how quickly they get to Core Kabula, because I don't recall it being, like, that soon in the game. For me, it was, like, for me, it was, like, 16 hours into the game. And there is no reason why Kirby Planet Robobot should be a 16-hour game, by any means. Like, even if you're 100%ing it, that game should not be a 16-hour game. But, it was, for me, it was, like, way much more than that. And I also did notice that I was not doing effective damage last time. I need to be rapid-firing this thing. Because I was firing, like, very slowly. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna fire at about the speed he's firing the cannon. And I'm gonna be, like, very strategic, make sure I don't take any damage, make sure I'm dodging around everything. I'm not gonna, like, put all my attention on firing. I'm gonna put all my attention and all my, skills into dodging and making sure I stay alive. I'm not gonna pay that much attention to, like, how much I'm firing. But I realized, like, I was not doing an efficient amount of damage. I looked down, and he had, like, the same health that I started with. So I clearly was not damaging him quickly enough. And this is also, it was hard for me to, like, understand what was just happening at first. Because I just kind of went into this thing, and then I was flying, and I couldn't stop flying, and I was constantly, like, doing, like, the bubbly clouds. I was constantly doing, oh, that's cute. Wow, that's a lot of Kirbys. Where are all those Kirbys coming from? Okay. This is nice music, too. This is, like, nice, relaxing music. This is peak Kirby music, honestly. I've heard this song before. I think it really says a lot about music design. That, even by today's standards, it really says a lot about this game's music design, that even by today's standards, this music is still so good. And, like, yeah, it's got compression to it, but I could still listen to this and be like, ah, I'm so relaxed. I am just so chill whenever I hear this. This makes me feel so good, this song. Just a nice, relaxing, calm, serene type of song. Just the kind of song that, like, I'd love to play as I have a nice walk on the beach. Get sand in my toes. And I get that we're in the sky right now, and that's probably not what they were going for. But the beach is relaxing, too. Like, the sky is relaxing, sure. Like, there's clouds around me. It's nice. It's a nice, it's a nice place. It's a nice environment. You guys are standing on, like, moon blocks. That's kind of cool. The sound of that really annoys me. That's, like, that's, in Red Health in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire type of annoying sound. I don't remember from playing Pokemon Red and Blue if it's as obnoxious. I'm sure that in all the old Pokemon games it's obnoxious, the sound that they do when you are at low health. And I do recall saying at one point in the Red and Blue randomizer, like, this at low health sound is obnoxious, or like, it's annoying me, something along those lines. But I don't remember exactly how it went, and I don't remember how close it was to the Ruby and Sapphire one. However, I played a lot in Gen 3, so I'm well aware at this point what the in red health sound effect sounds like in that game. And I know it is annoying as heck, and it makes me so angry that I just have to heal my Pokemon, even if I know they don't need it, even if I know they could take down the enemy. No problem, I really don't need to heal for this battle, I'll just wait until I get to the Pokemon Center. Like, I would do that, except, my gosh, do I not want to. My gosh, does it make me not want to when I have to, when I have to endure the terrible, annoying sound of boo, 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 every cup, like, for minutes on end while fighting a Pokemon. Like, any given Pokemon, I have to endure that for the entire battle, and it's just like, I could wait till I get to Pokemon Center, sure, and that would save me a bunch of healing items, right? But, like, why would I do that? Why would I put myself through the suffering that is listening to that sound when I could just heal? Listening to that sound all battle when I could just heal. Like, it convinces me to waste my resources. That is how annoying that sound is. Speaking of annoying, Kracko Jr. giving me trouble here? Didn't know he was called Kracko Jr. for a while. When did I actually discover that he was called Kracko Jr.? I don't remember. This guy was in Kirby's Adventure 2. I said Kirby's Adventure 2, as if it was, like, the sequel to Kirby's Adventure. I meant, like, he is in Kirby's Adventure as well. That's something that's, like, really annoying about the English language. That, like, homophones? I shouldn't say, like, homophones in general, because there are homophones that are, like, not that annoying. But I think it's when, like, it's when, like, homophones have, when there's, like, 3 homophones of the same, when there's, like, 3 words that all sound the same and all mean something that is, like, vastly different. That's when the English language gets really annoying. It's like, am I saying to as in, like, as well? Or am I saying to as in there's two? Or am I saying to as in, like, I am going somewhere? I'm going to this place. Like, which two am I using here? There's 3 twos in the human language. The one and only human language. There's 3 twos in the English language, which already sounds annoying because 2 is a number, but it's also, like, that's not the 2 that I was talking about, but I guess at the same time I was talking about every 2, because I said there were 3 twos, but I wasn't specifically talking about the number 2, but you heard 3 and you thought 2, like as in the number 2, so it's confusing, because I said 3, and then I said 2, but I wasn't talking about 3 and 2 as in the numbers. I'm not saying, like, not spelling out, like, I don't know what spelling is, I don't know what the equivalent of spelling is when you're talking about, numbers, but, question, if I get a game over in this game, do I have to start all the way from the beginning? If so, I hope I don't get a game over here. Like, I really hope I do not get a game over here. That would be terrible. That would stink. And then I would have to do a bunch of editing, because I would have to edit out me getting back here. And it would just take a while to get back here. So hopefully I do not get a game over and have to start all over. I mean, I'm gonna get a game over, but, like, oh wait, I have a 0 life. Okay, that makes me even more, terrified. This is when you can shoot cannonballs. Like, that is an ability that you do not seem to have in any other game. Maybe I need to just, like, clutch up. Maybe I need to stop talking to clutch up. I say his movement pattern is so unpredictable. I was about to say his movement pattern is so unpredictable, but it's really not. I really have to sit in the corners, and I don't think he'll hit me. It's not hard to avoid at all, actually. I'm just dumb. Never mind. Okay, I think if I was, like, a little bit more in the corner, then that wouldn't have hit me. It's really not that difficult. I feel like I'm overcomplicating this a decent amount, and I hope that lives are up next, because I don't know if a game over will mean that the game is actually over. I do not know if I will have to start the whole game over when I get a game over. I mean, judging by the name, that sounds like what I would have to do. Because if the game is over, then in order to play it again, you probably have to, you know, start it over. That would make sense. Let's dodge all these Gordos and get that maxim tomato so that I can stop worrying about the fact that I'm on 1 health with 0 lives left. And we got more of these nice moon blocks. It says a lot about the pixel art of this game and how good it is. That even with so few pixels, I can understand that's a moon. I guess just like the fact that it's Kirby too. It's like we got like so many stars in this game. Like literally when you bump into a wall, it makes a star come out of it. You see that? So like I guess there's so many like stars in Kirby's branding. Like there's stars when I bump into things. There's stars in the background. There's stars that I shoot out of my mouth. What is going on here? I don't know, but I like the music. And they are using this music a lot, but I kind of don't mind because it's good music. Fortunately, it's good music. See, that's the thing. If your music is good in a video game, you can use it for as many different things as you want. You can overuse good music like heck, and I won't care. As long as it's good music. Like, that's why I'm not... Yes, it's absurd in Sonic Forces that, like, every time you're super... For the entire time that you're Supersonic, they play Fist Bump. But at the same time, I don't think that if I played Sonic Forces, it would annoy me. Because Fist Bump is just such a good song. And I recognize that it's not the best song in all of Sonic the Hedgehog. I understand that there are, like, better songs in Sonic. So given how much trouble Kracko Jr. gave me, I am very worried about this fight. Especially because that thing that I just did not hit him. I mean, it did hit him, but it didn't do any damage. And I'm wondering why it didn't do any damage. I guess just to make things more difficult. Because then I could just, like, constantly go up to him, fly, and then spit it back out, and then damage him. Like, I guess it's much harder. I guess, like, them making it so he can only be damaged by, like, me spitting stars at him makes it much harder, because then I have to wait for him to spawn enemies and then spit those back out. And in that time, where I'm trying to swallow up the enemies, obviously the enemies can hit me. And I didn't mean to say swallow, because swallow is what you do when you, like, bring it down your throat. And Kirby doesn't really have a throat, but swallow is usually reserved, in my vocabulary at least, for what Kirby does to enemies, where he gets rid of them and, like, removes them from his mouth, and thereby also gains their ability. And I don't know if you can swallow in this game. I think you can. I think I've done it before, but don't hold me to that because my memory's bad. Maybe I'm just, like, making up something. Mount Dedede. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's cool. That wasn't really, like, a screen, like a cutscene thing. That was, like, cutscene. I mean, it was a cutscene. This is a cutscene. But it wasn't, like, a screen where it's, like, oh, this is, like, a little intro sequence to the level you're about to do. That's, like, a intro sequence into a cutscene. Oh, this is cool. So it's, like, a boss rush now? Luckily, Kracko was significantly easier than Kracko Jr. for some reason. Kracko Jr. was giving me so much trouble. Kracko was nothing. Kracko was a pushover. I don't know why Kracko was such a pushover compared to Kracko Jr., but, game over? What does that mean? Do I have to start the entire game over? That would be a shame. Continue? Please say I don't have to start the entire game over. That would be terrible. Thank goodness. Okay. Lovely. And Kirby lives up to it, and the first Kirby game lives up to the reputation of being an easy game. Kirby was made as an easy franchise, so at the same time, so I was fairly certain, from the very beginning, it was made to be an easy franchise. And, what the, oh look, another Kirby. That's, interesting. I don't know what his deal is, but he's moving. He's moving and grooving, and schmooving. He's going at it. I don't know what exactly he's doing, but he certainly do be moving though. What will I do about this? I'm gonna take a wild guess and say I can't go through this door. But see, now I'm gonna try it. Oh, it just insta-kills you. Okay. That's something that doesn't happen in future Kirby games. I'm like, oh yeah, invincibility frames. I'll just hit the Gordo, and then I'll get iframes, and I'll walk right through them, and I'll go through the door. As it turns out, I was not able to do that. Because I guess, Gordos insta-kill you in this game. That's an interesting thing that I did not see coming. Interesting thing that they removed from future games. And he does not seem to be able to fire up in this game, which is interesting. That Glunk cannot fire up. Because, future games, that's all he can do. What is with this guy? So he, like, exits the box, and then goes back in the box. Can he hit me? I don't think he can hit me down here. I also, am I supposed to use him? Maybe I'm supposed to use him as ammunition to kill this Kirby up here. But then again, I can't really get up there. Can I just eat this Kirby? Am I overcomplicating this? I imagine that, like, what is it? What's the word? Me killing this Kirby. I don't know why I couldn't come up with the word killing. I don't know why my stomach killed him either, but, both are a mystery to me. And, I can't believe I died. I died twice getting to Lololo and Lalala. That wasn't even the fight. That wasn't even, like, the obstacle. That was just, like, a precursor to the fight. I died twice getting to Lololo and Lalala. Lololo and Lalala will not get that many kills on me. Literally, the area before them that was an intro sequence to their fight will get more kills on me than they do, I assure you. Oh my gosh. Please just, like, allow me to kill you without any problem, so that way my prior statement can be true, and it's very funny. And I get that you'd, like to live and all, but, like, what if you just didn't, and it was really funny? What if you didn't, and you just, like, died in a comedically easy fashion? What if your boss fight was just super easy to the point where it was comical? That would be hilarious. Especially because I described it as comical. If I say that it is comical, then it is hilarious. Because hilarious and comical go hand in hand because they pretty much mean the same thing. Obviously, comical is significantly less severe than hilarious. If something is comical, it could be like, just, haha. But if it's hilarious, it's like, ha 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 ha. So, like, obviously there's significantly more ha with hilarious than there is comical. And comical is sort of like a very serious way of saying hilarious. I wouldn't even say it's a way of saying hilarious, I would just say it's a way of saying funny. It's not even, like, on hilarious level. But for the sake of my analogy, we will pretend like it is. I also like that it's, like, snowing, but it's not snowing. It's, like, snowing stars. That's really cool. Because obviously that's, like, a very snowy effect. And it's obviously not snow, but I feel like it's meant to look like snow. Judging by the way they did it. And why are there, like, so many Kirbys that aren't me here? And why do I have to kill them in order to remove the Gordo from the door? How do I kill him? Hold on. I fired a star at him and it didn't work. Okay, I guess I just sit on them. That's how I kill them. Via contact with my ass. What does it take to kill a Kirby? Great question. It's another Kirby's ass. How does one kill a Kirby? Very simple. Another Kirby has to sit on him. It's probably not the solution you were expecting. Certainly wasn't the solution I was expecting. But here we are. And once again, we are not going to struggle on this Kracko fight, because for some reason, Kracko Jr. was so much easier. It was literally just like the cannonballs that were giving me trouble. Like, I just couldn't dodge that. And, like, the cannonball attack is so much harder than this, like, lightning attack he's doing, where he does, like, 2 beam attacks in a circle. In this game, it's even more apparent to me than it was in future games, that this is just 2 beam attacks in a circle. Like, in future games, at least they're, like, bigger than a beam attack. At least it's bigger than, like, the effect of a beam attack, like the effect particles. The laser particles are, like, bigger in future games, so it looks, like, more intense. But in this game, it is, like, literally the exact same sprite as beam attack. Look at that animation. It's, like, exactly the same. He's even shooting at Waddle Dees to prove how similar it is. To prove that it is, like, the exact same animation, only he's doing it twice on both the top and bottom of his body. And so far, the only boss here that is giving me trouble is Lololo and Lalala. And I say that, we're only 2 in out of 4. That's only halfway there, so I say that they're the only boss so far. That has given me trouble. What is this? Okay, I was like, in a wall? Oh, this background is a wall? Like, this background object is a wall? I did not know that was a wall, I just thought it was a background object. It was a wall, and then I thought for a second that I couldn't go that way, but apparently I could, and it was just like, it was just kind of there. It was just kind of like, go underneath this wall, please. Slight obstacle. Not enough to the point where it's actually difficult. Not enough to the point where it actually makes the game difficult, because God forbid you make this game difficult. You can't get a game over, so, like, why would we make it so you can easily die? Okay, this Wispy Woods seems to be giving me a little bit more trouble than the original Wispy Woods. I don't know if that's the way it was intended, but that is the first boss to get a kill on me in this boss rush. However, I will say that Wispy kind of cheated there, because Lolo and Lalala did most of the work. Kracko did 1 damage to me, and then Wispy picked up the kill. That wasn't really Wispy's kill. I mean, I guess it was Wispy's kill, but, like, the other bosses contributed a very big assist. It was a very large assist, to the point where Wispy didn't really do anything. Wispy hit me with 1 attack, and I was dead. He had to put in so much more work to hit me with that 1 attack, to get me to die, than Lolo and Lalala did. He had to do so much less work to hit me with that 1 attack that Lolo and Lalala did, in order to, like, just get me down to 2. Or, yeah, it was 2. They did 3 damage to me, and I have 6 health. So that's not 2. That does not equal 2. Alex, you're stupid. Why would you say that? But I can't deal with you. Okay, we use 1 more hit. I'm gonna dodge these little wisp things that are something that I can do as well. That's interesting that Kirby and Wispy Wood share a biological ability. They can both do that, like, exhale missile thing. It's not a missile. It doesn't look like a missile, but it effectively is a missile because it's something you launch through the air at the opponent, and it does damage. And I'm sure that there are other things in this world that you launch through the air at an opponent that do damage, that aren't a missile. So I guess that's just a bad analogy. Like a boomerang, you can launch through the air, does damage to the enemy. If you hit an enemy with a boomerang. Also a frisbee or a ball. Depending on the ball, it'll do like more or less damage. Obviously, a dodgeball will do like a fair amount of damage. Volleyball, I think, more or less damage than a dodgeball. I don't know. I haven't been hit by a lot of dodgeballs. I don't think I've actually ever been hit by a dodgeball. Like, I feel like every time in school we've played dodgeball, it has never been, like, with an actual dodgeball. Maybe that's just because, like, modern school systems aren't allowed to use dodgeballs anymore. Like, they realized that dodgeballs were, like, too hard or something. Because I imagine, like, dodgeballs were very hard. With the way that, like, you see in movies, dodgeballs causing characters, like, actual pain, I'd imagine that dodgeballs used to be pretty hard back in the days when school systems were actually using dodgeballs to play dodgeball. But I, personally, in school, never used an actual dodgeball to play dodgeball. They use, like, these softballs, which I think is actually what it's called, softball. Isn't there, like, a sport called softball? I don't know. Softball's a sport, right? It's probably a sport. Fairly sure that's a sport. Is that, like, baseball, but, like, you kick it? Is that what that is? Fairly sure that's what that is. I never played softball when I was younger, but I think I might have, like, once or twice, but not like nearly as much as I'm sure many of the people watching this did. And we're gonna go into this King Dedede painting thing. I don't know if it's a painting. I don't know if it's probably a painting. I'd say it's a painting. Maybe not a painting. I don't know why they put a painting in a, like, at the back of a boxing ring. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Hopefully, if I get a game over after this, I won't have to do this whole boss rush again. But I probably will, because old games are hard, even if they claim to be easy. What do I do about this guy? This guy's giving me trouble here. Oh, wait, okay, I have to hit his... Oh my gosh, that's so hard. It gives you so little time to suck up the stars that come from his hammer. Yeah, this guy is tricky. This is definitely the most, the hardest King Dedede fight in all of Kirby. Which makes sense, because it's the first King Dedede fight in all of Kirby, and obviously old games are hard. But I will grab this star, and I will fire it at him, and he will make a stupid face because he's King Dedede and he does stupid things, including making stupid faces. Especially making stupid faces. Making stupid faces is actually one of King Dedede's specialties. I might not even get to Nightmare, just because this King Dedede fight is so much harder than, like, King Dedede fights I'm used to. And obviously I don't think it's, like, that hard, but for, like, someone like me, who didn't grow up playing games from this era, that were hard as heck, comparatively to the games that are made nowadays, for someone like me, like, this is difficult. This is a difficult game. This is a difficult fight. I shouldn't say difficult game, but this is a difficult fight. Like, this game hasn't been all that difficult, but it certainly is a difficult fight comparatively to, like, any other King Dedede fight I've fought before. So hopefully you can, like, yeah, thank you. But I didn't get to actually swallow that. That's the problem, is that, like, you get out of the way of his attack, but then, like, the star despawns so quickly that by the time you get, like, back to where it was, it's already gone. I think I just need to, like, wait for the ground pound, because I'm sure that's not, like, the name for it. Maybe it is. I don't know, ground pound seems like a very Mario term, because I played a lot of Mario, but actually I feel like ground pound is just used in like, other contexts. Is ground pound a real word, or is that literally just, like, a video game term? And did Mario make up the term ground pound? If it is a video game term, I'd like to know if it was of Mario's creation, or if other games coined the term ground pound before Mario. I'd imagine that it was Mario's thing first. Nah, maybe. I don't know. Because, like, I think about New Super Mario Bros. Like, New Super Mario Bros. Was the first 2D Mario game to have a ground pound. And I'm like, New Super Mario Bros. Was late. New Super Mario Bros. Was, like, late into gaming. Like, that is, like, 2004? 5? 8? Like, I don't know. I don't actually know when New Super Mario Bros. Came out, but it was, like, it was 2000s, and it was not 2003. That's all I know, because, like, Nintendo DS was, it was not, it had to be at least 2003, because Nintendo DS was after GameCube. Nintendo DS was after GameCube, and, after Game Boy Advance. So I'd imagine that most every game was, most every game, GameCube, I'd imagine that Game Boy Advance was pretty much finished making games by the time that the DS came out, with, like, the exception of a few stragglers. So I'm, like, willing to say, hey, Metroid Zero Mission came out in 2004, which I looked up the other day. That's the only reason why I know that. I may still even be getting it right. Maybe it was a different Metroid game that came out in 2004. I don't really know. I was looking up Metroid games yesterday. I was looking up their release dates, because I don't know their release dates, because, I am not familiar with Metroid. I've played a Metroid game before. It was a bad experience, and I never did it again. Like, I'm sure Metroid games are great, and I'm not gonna say, like, oh, if you like Metroid, that's stupid, because, like, you like what you like, whatever. If you like Metroid, fair. You like what you want to like, it's okay, like, that's fine with me. Whatever. But, I personally never liked Metroid. It was just never my thing. I never got into it. And frankly, it's just too much thinking for me. I dislike it for pretty much the same reason I dislike Legend of Zelda. It's just, too much thinking. Too much thinking involved. I like to fly around with my little Kirby and inhale enemies and, like, eat them. Like, eat enemy. That's about the extent of my brain power when it comes to playing video games. These puzzle games, like these puzzle-heavy games, like Metroid and Legend of Zelda. And I don't think Metroid is actually even that puzzle-heavy, but it does require a lot of thinking, because you have to, like, get an item, and then you have to, like, get an item or an upgrade or whatever you want to call it, enhancement, something like that, and then, like, go back to a previous area in the game. Like, you get powered up, you get new abilities, and then you just kind of have to, like, remember a point where you, like, saw something, and then you were like, I can't get past this, and then you have to, like, just backtrack to that point and use what you just got, like, use your newly acquired ability. And that is so hard for me. Like, with my feeble dumb brain, I cannot seem to comprehend Metroid and how you, like, get an item and then you have to, like, figure out what you're supposed to use it for. And the problem is with Metroid is just that, like, sometimes you have to backtrack a long distance, and sometimes it's not that obvious where exactly you need to use where exactly you need to use the thing that you just got. You just acquired an upgrade, and it's like, that's cool and all, but what do I do with this? And that's the part of Metroid where I get extremely lost. And maybe if I got to, like, a decent... Did I just beat Kirby? Wait, is there no nightmare in this game? Was that Kirby's Adventure? I think I just beat Kirby. Oh, I just beat Kirby. Okay. That's cool. I thought there was nightmare in this game. Okay. That's Kirby's Adventure, isn't it? Okay, yeah, that's just final boss. That makes sense why it was so hard. I should have known. With a game designed to be easy, they really wouldn't give you anything harder than that. Which is crazy, because that wasn't that hard at all. Like, I've played old games. I know where the difficulty is supposed to be with old games. And this was not it at all. And I guess that makes sense. Because special thanks, Bubby! Special thanks, Cypher! I don't know who any of these people are, but Bubby's a bomber name. I don't know where... Obviously, they set out to make a easy game. Which is great. And so many players. Thank you. Thank you for thanking me. Kirby's Dream Land presented by... HAL Laboratory Inc. and Nintendo. Yeah, but like, I guess they set out to make an easy game, which is good for me. Thank you for playing. You're welcome for playing. It's great for me, because, like, it's great for me that they set out to make an easy game, because I'm not very good at video games. But, so it means I got to play the first game in a franchise, which is something I don't normally get to do, because, normally, the first game in franchises is too hard. In, like, any franchise is too hard. Obviously, like, Super Mario Bros., I can't play that crap. Maybe I can nowadays, because it's, like, I've gotten better at Mario games, and just video games in general, since the last time I tried. But last time I tried, it was a mess. I had to, like, constantly cheat with save states and stuff. Good job. Press up, A, and select on the title screen to start a new adventure. Good luck. Extra game. That's cool. That's great and all. But, I don't really care. King Dedede's throwing a fit over here. But I'm sorry, bro. I just don't care. Maybe I'll do that in, like, a future episode. If y'all want to see me play the extra game of this game, maybe I'll make a future video on that. However, for now, I am done here. My work here is done. I beat the first Kirby game. It was enjoyable. And, that is, like, the first game, first game in like, a franchise that this sentence doesn't make any sense. Like, what I'm trying to say is that, like, I never really beat Super Mario Bros., like, the original Super Mario Bros., because it was just too hard for me. Like, I beat it with a lot of save states and a lot of cheating. Like, I just die and reverse it, like, 20 times. So, I wouldn't really consider it beating it. I definitely did not beat it what you would call legitimately. So I'm glad that I was able to beat this game legitimately, because I may not have been able to beat the first Mario game legitimately. But I did beat the first Kirby game legitimately, which makes sense that I'd be able to beat the first Kirby game, because Kirby is meant to be easy. And I guess they accomplished their mission, because I was able to beat the first game in this series that claims to be easy. I was able to beat a game that they set out to make easy. So, good for me. I guess I'm just so good at video games, right, guys? Right. So, thank you all so much for watching, Eevee Clan. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. This is Alex Espion, signing off.